In the pre-dawn darkness, the door to the building swings open. In the shining bright doorway appears the silhouette of a man. The man closes the door with a click of the lock and looks right, then left. He decides to go to the left, where the dark street is slightly brightened by a street light. His pace is moderate, neither too fast nor too slow. He passes the Calle de la Pau, and then the Plaza de la Reina, and disappears into the sleeping streets of Valencia. His steps disturb the silence. He is an elderly, neither too old nor too young. His gray-colored backpack fits his body well. It appears that he is a through hiker. For the first time on the trail, he sees the rising sun painting the sky in the gentle hues of pink, orange, and gold. And he may see this spectacle for many more times. Chris, the hiker, wears a short sleeve shirt and a short pants and trail running shoes. His once fine blue shirt and pants are faded from exposure to the harsh Spanish sun. A bandana tied around his head has also clearly visible lightening of colors. Whenever the hiker stops for a break, he takes off his backpack to give his hard-working back a chance to rest. He always buckles and tightens the hip belt, shoulder straps, and chest strap with precision to move his body freely. Starting from Valencia, he plans to hike alone in Spain, the Camino de Levante, through Valencia and Castilla-La Mancha regions. Initially, he treks south to Xàtiva, then west and northwest, through towns such as Almansa, Chinchilla, Albacete, La Rota, Mora, and finally he reaching Toledo. He intends to walk 26 days from Valencia to Toledo. Interestingly, this trail is one of the least known and least hiked, with fewer than 300 hikers annually. And it is why the Camino de Levante is sometimes called the Camino of Solitude. A lone hiker treks along intertwining groves of persimmon, lemon, and olive trees. Their branches are reaching harmoniously towards the sun. The persimmon trees are adorned with vibrant orange fruits, each a jewel of autumn, offering a burst of sweetness to passers-by. The lemon trees exhibit fruits of vivid green, revealing a refreshing burst of citrus to the senses. Olive trees, with their dark green leaves above and silver undersides below, cast dappled shadows upon the sun-drenched ground. Anticipating Algamesi, after a 10-hour walk, the hiker's excitement intensifies with every step. Is the town warmly welcoming him? Feeling like a celebrity, he mistakenly believes the celebration is for him. But wait, surprise! It is not a welcome party for him. It is a bullfighting spectacle. At dawn, Chris walks around the town square, where the proud structure of a bullfighting ring stands silent. Entering the arena, he imagines the vibrant spectacle, the cheers of the crowd, and the thunderous clash of matador versus bull. Leaving the arena behind, he ventures beyond the town, finding himself surrounded by the serene beauty of nature, with open fields stretching out before him, like a blank canvas. Well, the umbrella helps. At least I have my own private shade. As I walk, thoughts of my wooden stick for my journey to Toledo occupy my mind. Approaching mountainous terrain, I spot a cluster of growing bamboos, the perfect spot for finding it. Sure enough, nestled among the greenery, my trusty walking stick awaits. This simple wooden companion serves many purposes, supporting me on uphill climbs, acting as a brake on descents, and providing balance when traversing streams, swamps, and rough terrain. Moreover, it aids in testing the depth of mud and puddles, clearing spider webs, and parting thick bushes and grass obstructing the trail, while also keeping dogs at a distance. Its length, from the ground to my chin, is ideal for maintaining stability during ascents and descents. With each step, my walking stick becomes an extension of my body, providing both physical support and a sense of security on my journey. Yes, it is my silent, humble, and sincere friend who never says to me any single word. The sun scorched the barren land, while the sparse clouds and gentle breeze whispered tales of solitude. Amidst the desolation, a lone thistle stood defiantly, adorned with purple flowers. Olive and lemon groves dotted the landscape sporadically, their vibrant green hues contrasting with the desolate backdrop. A solitary trail leads me through the harsh terrain, under the merciless sky, and merges with a narrow street leading to Poblayarga. The town, rich in history, has charming streets and traditional Spanish architecture. The darkness of the morning envelops me, heightening my senses and sharpening my awareness. Every step I take echoes through the stillness, creating a symphony of seclusion, guiding my path through the unknown. The cool breeze brushes against my face, whispering secrets of the land. As dawn breaks over the horizon, I set out on the trail, eager for the adventure that lies ahead. The trail begins smoothly enough, with the warm sun casting a golden hue over the countryside. I follow the trail diligently, guided by the reassuring presence of yellow arrows, marking my path. However, as the hours pass, the landscape transforms. The trail leads me closer to the winding Albaida River, where dense bamboo groves swarm the path, their thick foliage obstructing my way. Armed with my new stick, I continue press forward, pushing through the drooping bamboo branches, along the path, determined to continue my journey. Suddenly, the trail disappears, beneath a sea of waist-high grass, entwined with sharp briars, tear at my legs. Panic creep in as I realize I am completely disoriented. The familiar markers have vanished, leaving me stranded in the unfriendly wilderness. After what feels like an eternity of struggle, I emerge onto a dirt trail and eventually onto an asphalt road. Half a kilometer later, I stumble upon a convenience place to sit down, shedding my backpack. As I clean myself up and rest, I reflect on the arduous journey I have just undertaken. The Camino de Levante may be less traveled, I think, but it is certainly not for those lacking courage. Despite the challenges, I feel a sense of accomplishment wash over me. I have conquered the ferocious wasteland and emerged victorious. Shadiva is renowned for its charming old town, characterized by narrow streets, historic buildings, and picturesque squares. The town has meticulously preserved its medieval and Moorish heritage, which is evident in its architecture and landmarks. The Colliyat Basilica of Santa Maria, dating from the 15th century, was formerly a cathedral. Originally founded as a royal hospital, in the 13th century, this building exemplifies mid-16th century Valencian architecture. Notably, Shadiva is home to a majestic castle, situated on a hill, overlooking the town. This castle has played a significant role in history. In the early morning, on another scorching day in late September, I leave the town and venture out into the relentless heat of Valencia. Why? Why do I hike the Camino de Levante? Feeling the call of La Mancha vastness, echoing Don Quixote introspective journey, I find sanctuary from the clamor of today's delusional misinformation, fake news sensationalism, and emotional turmoil as I venture into the immensity of La Mancha. In the upcoming vast expanse of La Mancha, the contrast between Don Quixote delusion and Sancho Panza pragmatism offers me a meaningful perspective on today's society, encompassing delusional media, politics, economy, and international relations. Cervantes' 17th century novel, Don Quixote, effectively captures the relevance of his masterpiece to modern times. As I enter Vallada, time seems to slow down, inviting me to savor the simple pleasures of small-town life. The restaurants at the square are closed, with empty tables and chairs, waiting for late afternoon residents, creating a quite picturesque scene. Whether wandering its historic streets or admiring the natural beauty of the surrounding countryside, Vallada offers an authentic glimpse into the soul of rural Spain. I am plodding through the vast Valencia region, surrounded by endless rows of olive trees. Their low, sturdy forms feature dark gray trunks, badly shattered, and gnarled branches that sprawl wide, some showing signs of distress, as if struggling for survival. Despite this, delicate leaves adorn the branches of the olive groves, fluttering gently in the breeze. When resting underneath the crowns of the trees, I sense that olive trees don't provide deep shade. Nevertheless, they protect somewhat from excessive heat and sun, similar to shade net gardening. Like many Valencian villages, Moixent display a layout and population typical of the region, evoking a reminder of a less hurried time. As I enter the town, narrow, winding streets greet me, lined with whitewashed houses. The town preserves its traditional Spanish architecture, with Moorish influences that shape its design. At the heart of Moixent lies its main square, adorned with an ancient Iberian sculpture, the Warrior of Moixent, where locals gather to socialize at outdoor cafes and immerse themselves in the vibrant atmosphere. Days turn into weeks, and I become intimately acquainted with the rhythm of nature. The rising and setting of the sun, the changing colors of the sky, the clouds, and the ever-present intense heat become constant companions on my journey. During this first week's hike, I find myself alone on the trail with not a single hiker in sight. With each passing day, I hike the land of Valencia, with the blazing sun overhead, in an unmarked sky. And it is hard to believe. It is already late September. Yet, the scorching heat feels relentless, with temperatures hovering around 38 degrees Celsius. Despite the intensity of the sun, I walk through the vast wide open plains, dotted with occasional olive trees and crimson vineyards. The unobstructed horizon stretches endlessly, making me feel connected to the great outdoors, free as a bird. In one vineyard, I observe workers braving the heat, harvesting grapes with ease like it's no big deal. In the distance, birds chirp away, adding to the peaceful ambience. Yes, water is essential. There are no places to resupply along the way, so I carry enough for my daily needs. It's a heavy load, but it's consumable. To limit the oppressive heat in the afternoon, I open my umbrella whenever the sun becomes unbearable, seeking refuge and protection from the terrible sun and remorseless heat. My destination lies ahead, La Font de la Figuera. I cross this vast expanse of southwestern Valencia, a slice of Spain, nestled against La Mancha. As I plod along, I spot a field of sunflowers on my right, each one standing tall and ripe on its stem, their golden heads nodding in unison like a disciplined army of Moorish soldiers. And, you know what's cool? Birds, swooping in, for a snack, as those sunflower seeds reach their prime. Meanwhile, the scent of freshly plowed earth, churned by a tractor, hangs heavy in the still air, mingling with the cloud of dust that hangs around, reluctant to settle back down on the scorched ground. For the past few days, I've begun my early hike in the darkness of the morning, seeking refuge from the blistering sun. Walking alone at this hour is both eerie and invigorating. As the world around me sleeps, I find myself immersed in solitude. Above, the stars twinkle like diamonds, guiding my steps through the unknown. But, as the first rays of sunlight pierce the horizon, a new day unfolds, unveiling the breathtaking expanse of Valencia and La Mancha before me. The landscape stretches out in all directions, each step revealing the deep power of solitude and the promise of a new day's journey. La Puerta a La Mancha, the gate to La Mancha, is in front of me. 2 hours of ruthless walking today brought me here, to the border of La Mancha. In this moment of rest, as I prepare to eat my breakfast, I feel a twinge of doubt creeping in. Is this truly the land of adventure that I've imagined? Or is it merely a barren wasteland, devoid of the magic and wonder I had hoped to find? The sun beats down unrelentingly, casting a golden hue over the plowed earth that stretches out before me. The stillness is eerie, unsettling almost, as if time itself pauses. There is no wind to stir the air, no insects to break the silence. It's just me and the vast expanse of La Mancha. Yet, as I hike amidst the barren fields of La Mancha in the unforgiving heat, a sense of emotional tension grips me. Nevertheless, this is the legendary region, the very land where Don Quixote and Sancho Panza set forth on their adventures. After a grueling 34-kilometer trek, I finally behold Castillo de Almanza, perched majestically atop a rocky hill. This medieval fortress, with its imposing silhouette, offers a captivating glimpse into Spain's rich past. As the dawn casts, I find myself setting out on a grueling 30-kilometer hike. The rugged silhouette of the mountain, Sierra de Mugrón, emerges against the horizon. The fierce temperatures, unusually intense for this time of year, once again soar to 38 degrees Celsius. Undeterred, armed with 4 liters of water, I am determined to conquer the mountain. After 5 hours of strenuous trekking, I begin the ascent. Sierra de Mugrón rises before me. The climb proves daunting, hindered by pebbles, the size of golf and tennis balls, slowing my progress. Yet, fueled by the desire to push my limits, I press on, pausing intermittently to catch my breath. Finally, after the uphill struggle, I find refuge from the blazing sun beneath the shelter of a small tree. The moving sun peeks through an open space amid branches to find my face. Here, I lie down to recharge my weary muscles for the treacherous descent that lies ahead. As I resume my journey, descending from the summit, the sound of my footsteps shatters the silent wilderness, disrupting its tranquility. The crunching of pebbles beneath my feet reminds me of my solitary presence in this vast expanse. The absence of wind creates an eerie stillness, as if time stands still. The ferocious sun beats down upon me, its merciless rays radiating the earth below and casting a brassy glare upon the cloudless sky. The landscape seems devoid of life, with even the insects, grasshoppers, and flies seeking refuge from the oppressive heat. Yet, fueled by a strong determination to persevere, I press onward, each step bringing me closer to my destination. As I traverse the immense of the landscape, I encounter a crossroads where the trail diverges. 2 paths stretch out before me, each leading to a different destination. One leads to Iquiraya, 23 kilometers away, while the other leads to Alpera, a mere 6 kilometers distant. I choose the path to Alpera. Why? Because I am mindful of the searing and shimmering heat above the plain, my water supply dwindling from 4 liters to less than a quarter, and my own physical exhaustion. Finally, Alpera comes into view, offering me the hope of finding shelter to rest and recuperate overnight. In the midst of another suffocating day, I trek toward Iquiraya, engulfed by the vast expanse of sweltering heat. The relentless sun beats me down from an unmarked sky, casting its glare upon the barren landscape. This is a man's harsh land. Of the yellow, orange, and brown landscape. When dust rises, it hangs in the motionless air, taking minutes to fall back to the caked and burning earth. As I trace the trail, I find myself on an asphalt road, not my preferred path. On my right side, windmills punctuate the horizon. Stark contrast to the grandiose giants of Don Quixote's adventures. The asphalt exacerbates the heat, making the journey even more arduous. As I continue, I come to the town. Since it is late in the afternoon, no man is visible yet, because the heat is still unforgiving. Its narrow and winding streets, lined with traditional Spanish architecture. Some houses, painted in soothing shades of blue. Finally, I reach the albergue, a welcome refuge from the searing heat, where I will spend the night. Eagerly, I prepare for my very early morning walk. In the still deeply sleeping town of Higueruela, I step out of the door. It is the first week of October, but the remnants of summer's heat cling stubbornly to the air. Determined to escape the unbearable temperatures that will soon dominate the day, I venture out. 2 hours before dawn's gentle light emerges. Softly, I walk through the slumbering streets. Each step echoes in the silence, the only sound accompanying my journey. Then, on the horizon, the first signs of dawn begin to break. A subtle glow emerges, brushing the sky with strokes of red, orange, and gold. The absence of wind creates an eerie stillness, as if time itself has come to a standstill. Continuing onward, the colors intensify, saturating the landscape with warmth. The rising sun bathes everything it touches in a soft, delicate light, illuminating the world with its radiant presence. With each passing moment, the air fills with the crisp scent of morning dew. I hike amidst the rolling hills and golden plains of the La Mancha fields, enveloped by the vast expanse of earth and sky. Along my journey, I frequently pause to explore abandoned ruins of homes and barns scattered across the region, each one a silent witness to untold stories of past inhabitants. Delving into the narratives of generations gone by, I find myself drawn to the worn stone walls and crumbling timbers. They whisper tales of hardship and resilience, echoing the struggles and triumphs of families who once toiled this land. I am captivated by the intricate details, such as weathered stone walls and sun-dappled interiors, each preserving passing moments of these forgotten places. With each step into the crumbling ruins, I am transported back in time, imagining the lives of those who once called these places home. As I approach the village of Onward, I make a spontaneous decision to veer off the trail. The appeal of taking a moment's respite in the shadow of its quaint houses while enjoying my modest breakfast is too tempting to resist. As I sit, contemplating the scene before me, I feel a sense of melancholy. The village consists of typical La Mancha low houses, lining unpaved streets that lead to a small plaza. An eerie silence permeates the air. Not a soul moves, and the village seems devoid of life, a heartbreaking picture of abandonment. After finishing my breakfast and preparing to continue my journey, I carry with me the bittersweet memory of Onward. The village, frozen in time, a relic of past day, yet brimming with untold stories of its former inhabitants. What a surprise! As I respite in the shade, I am greeted by the famous Manchega sheep, returning from their pasture. Loyal sheepdogs swiftly seek their spot in the shade, eager for rest. Oya Gonthalo emerges as a humble, yet resilient village. Amidst the rustic charm of its streets, low houses tell stories of generations past. Here, life unfolds to the rhythm of agrarian traditions, harmonizing with modern life. Within this picturesque backdrop, the famed Manchego cheeses, made from the milk of the Manchega sheep that graze these fields, trace their beginnings. As the night surrenders to dawn, a delicate glow emerges on the eastern horizon, signaling the arrival of a new day. The crisp, invigorating breeze carries the scent of dew-laden greenery and earth. Before me lies La Mancha in October, with vast plains stretching endlessly into the horizon, mostly barren and freshly plowed. After 2 hours of walking, I find myself gazing at the solitary tree ahead. Its presence, reminiscent of a vigilant sentry watching me over amidst the vast emptiness. Alone in this vastness, I feel small, yet strangely connected to the expanse of nature, like an ant traversing a desert, or a sailor adrift at sea. I embrace the solitude, finding solace in the rhythm of my footsteps. These expansive vistas evoke a sense of boundlessness, immersing me in an endless expanse of land. The harvested fields shimmer in the sunlight, taking on a golden bronze hue. Amidst this backdrop, occasional pockets of shrubbery or distant trees offer a stark contrast. As far as the eye can see, there are no signs of towns, villages, or people, only the oppressive simmering heat rising from the plains and the unrelenting cloudless sky. No animals, no birds, no man is in sight, as they wisely avoid venturing out in this relentless heat. The only things in nature that move are me and the sun, casting its metallic glare across the indifferent sky. The flat terrain creates an illusion of endlessness, captivating the imagination with its vastness. When I turn around, there is no point to set my eye upon, only the uninterrupted expanse of land stretching into infinity. As I continue through the immenseness of La Mancha, the day brings again unusually intense heat, with temperatures reaching 36 degrees Celsius in the shade, if any shade can be found on the meseta. Along the winding trails of La Mancha, I am drawn again to the scattered ruins of homes and shepherds' shelters, weathered and worn, yet retaining an undeniable charm that whispered of a forgotten past. Each crumbling stone bore witness to the struggles of generations past. The earth, reddish hue from decomposing ferrous elements, is accentuated by the sunlight. The subtle aroma of newly plowed furrows and dry earth lingers in the air. There is a faint sweetness in the air, a reminder of renewal and regeneration. I trek along the sandy trail. Each step feels heavier than the last. My backpack, worn and weather-beaten like an old friend, seems to weigh me down more with each passing kilometer. Yet, despite the exhaustion, there is a flicker of anticipation in my heart as I approach the outskirts of Chinchilla. The silhouette of the castle of Chinchilla perches atop the hill as a sentry watches the town below with its red roofs. Upon entering the town square, I am greeted by the historical plaza of an old town, known as Plaza de La Mancha. The plaza itself is a quaint, yet expansive space, bordered by centuries-old buildings that stand as silent witnesses to the passage of time. The streets, leading off from the plaza, are narrow and winding, lined with ancient stone walls of the buildings, in a warm beige hue, reminiscent of sun-drenched sandstone. Tomorrow, I will stay here again, to rest my legs, heavy with fatigue. With my backpack slung over my shoulders, I set out on my day of hiking, from the gorgeous, historical town of Chinchilla, feeling fully rested. As the morning sun begins to cast its warm glow over the horizon, I make my way through the outskirts, passing by the industrial area. The path leads me past quaint farmer houses and rustic farm buildings, their weathered exteriors unveiling tales of years gone by. Bursts of late-blooming white wildflowers add splashes of color to the otherwise muted surroundings. The terrain opens up before me, revealing vast expanses of plowed fields, stretching out towards the horizon. Tumbleweeds sit along the trail, propelled perhaps by the gentle breeze that sweeps across the landscape. Parched by the relentless sun, dried out, and brown teasels cling stubbornly to the edge of the trail. Their spiky tendrils reaching out like fingers, grasping for moisture. As I walk through the dog's secret territory, they eye me suspiciously, as if I am a prime suspect in the case of the child's missing shoe, sparking a canine conspiracy theory of epic proportions. Finally, as the sun begins its descent towards the western horizon, I catch sight of my destination, Albacete, in the distance. As I plod wearily into Albacete, the largest town on my journey to Toledo, the sight of the urban landscape ahead fills me with a sense of reluctance. The noise of the city threatens to drown out the tranquility I've grown accustomed to in the countryside. As I navigate, life in the city carries on, as usual. The cathedral, finished in a Romanesque revival style, looms majestically in the distance. Its tower piercing the evening sky. Nearby, the Museum of Cutlery beckons with promises of history and craftsmanship. In the heart of the city, the yellow Plaza de Toros stands proudly, a testament to Albacete's deep-rooted tradition of bullfighting. Despite my weariness, I find myself captivated by Albacete charm, even if only for a night. In my second week on the road, I find myself trekking alone to La Jineta. Thus far, not a single fellow hiker has crossed my path. As I leave behind the urban hustle and bustle of Albacete, the outskirts reveal a less appealing facade, with scattered debris of discarded furniture littering the trail. However, as the city fades into the distance, a new landscape unfolds, enveloping me in the vastness of the earth and sky. The dry and dusty trail, occasionally disturbed by passing local residents' cars, forces me to pause. Time seems to slow as I wait for the dust to settle. The landscape comes alive, offering respite from the monotony as I traverse amidst fields adorned with massive sprinkler irrigation systems. The cool spray of water offers me relief from the oppressive heat as I continue my solitary trek. The terrain, initially adorned with the yellow, orange, and brown landscape of dried vegetation, gradually transforms into pockets of greenery and scattered trees, providing a welcome contrast to the desolation of the days prior. Continuing my journey, I find solace amidst the olive trees, their gnarled branches giving shelter from the oppressive sun. Here, amidst the dappled shade, I pause to reflect on my journey thus far. I find a sense of belonging, a connection to something greater than myself. As I hike along the dusty trail, the only signs of life emerge from the silent, stoic residents of the farmer's house, enduring the sweltering heat. Their watchdogs, far from discreet, shoot laser beams of suspicion from their eyes, as if conveying, "Move along, buddy, nothing to see here." Except for my impressive barking skills. And bark they do. "Get out of here, stranger." They seem to snarl. It is a landscape of openness and isolation, where the horizon seems to stretch on forever. The immensity of it all is both awe-inspiring and humbling, reminding me of the insignificance of human presence in the face of nature's grandeur. Moving on, the vastness of the landscape unfolds before me once more. The terrain stretches endlessly, devoid of trees, with trails marked only by the occasional tumbleweed. As the sun beats down ferociously, and the kilometers take their toll, I seek refuge under a rare small tree, grateful for its meager shade. It's a moment of respite, a chance to catch my breath and replenish my energy for the journey ahead. In this solitary moment, I reflect on the resilience of life in these harsh environments. Emerging from my brief rest, I encounter the ingenuity of agriculture in arid regions. Before me lies a vast expanse of brown plowed fields, adorned with an extensive wheeled irrigation system. It is a testament to the resourcefulness of farmers who have found a way to harness water in a landscape where it is scarce. As I continue my journey, I come into a sea of green. Rows of likely kale stretch out to the horizon, nourished by the water delivered through furrow-type irrigation from nearby pump stations, or sprayed from the wheeled irrigation system. I am struck by the sheer scale of human intervention in shaping the landscape. Seeing farmers' tractors, on the way home, I am reminded of the resilience of those who toil the land, harnessing the power of water to cultivate life amidst the arid landscape. Finally, La Hineta. It is a moment of culmination, where the journey comes to an end. Yet, as I reflect on the highlights and experiences of the stage, I realize that it is not just the destination that matters, but the lessons learned along the way. Stepping outside, for the first time that morning in the second week of October, I am taken aback by the sudden drop in temperature. The chill in the air was unexpected, but it is the dense fog that truly surprises me. The road out of town offers no reprieve from the mist. Finally, I find the trail, marking a left turn. My eyes widen as I realize the horizon has vanished, leaving me feeling isolated and adrift in a sea of mist. The morning air is thick, with an almost surreal fog enveloping the landscape in a blanket of white. The fog muffles the world around me. Sounds are swallowed by the mist, leaving only the rhythmic pulse of my own breath to accompany me. Small droplets of water, zigzagging down the wire fence, are a testimony to the morning's heavy mist. After hours of hiking, the fog gradually starts to thin, revealing outlines of the ruins of farmhouse and barn. These ruins, once a bustling complex of farmers' house, now stand as silent witness to a past age of agrarian life. They are now empty shells, with their roofs collapsed. Only the wind and occasional birds taking refuge. Once, they were places where families would gather after long days in the fields, sharing stories and meals. Barns, with their wooden beams splintered and weathered, were the heartbeats of the farms, where livestock were tended, crops were stored, and tools were kept. As I rest on the well, I reflect on how, despite the farmhouse crumbling, the land itself endures, telling its stories to all who visit. Rising to my feet, I cast one last glance at the ruins before resuming my hike. With me, I carry the timeless tales of the people who once lived here. The sun hangs in the sky like a large, metallic, brassy ball, piercing through the fog above. As the day advances, the fog thins, revealing the landscape in provoking glimpses. Turning from west to east, there is no clear point to focus on. No distinct landmark to anchor the eye. The iconic ruins punctuating the horizon invite me to pause, reflect, and appreciate the beauty of what once was, and what remains. They evoke a profound sense of nostalgia, mystery, and contemplation. The ruins, in their silent majesty, with gaping doorways and partially collapsed walls, might have been a farmhouse or a shelter. Their current state prompts questions about the people who built them, lived in them, and eventually left them behind.
Bueno, ¿cuándo vais a venir? Dígame.
As the sun climbs higher, the heat intensifies. Through this wavering curtain of heat, I catch my first glimpse of La Rota. A shimmering heat haze dances on the horizon. The town appears like a mirage, its buildings gleaming in the sunlight, promising rest and respite after the long trek. The bell tower of the old church stands tall, a beacon guiding a weary hiker home. Tonight, I find an unusual refuge at the Plaza de Toros. In the preparation room, where the matador and his team gather before facing fierce bulls, I now stand alone. This evening, the arena is mine. As I step into the vast empty arena, its immensity engulfs me. I stand on the sand, where so many dramatic encounters have unfolded. Turning slowly, I take in the expansive circular seating that rises tier upon tier. My footsteps echo in the quiet as I walk up to the stands. I imagine the cacophony that typically fills this place. The cheers, gasps, and applause of an audience captivated by the spectacle. In this moment, though, there is only silence. The empty seats serve as silent witnesses to the history that is played out here. The day begins chilly and foggy, a stark contrast to nearly 2 weeks of uninterrupted sunshine. The vastness of the landscape, painted entirely in soft shades of light brown, extends as far as the eye can see. I hike alone, along a desolate trail to Minaya, stretching endlessly into the horizon. Immersed in an arid, barren landscape, I notice the freshly plowed field carefully tended and prepared for new crops. The light fog blurs the boundary between earth and sky, creating an almost ethereal ambience. With no significant landmarks, it hints at the unknown and the uncertainties ahead. The white mist that blankets the landscape adds a layer of mystique. The haze obscures the path, making it difficult to see what lies ahead. The only way to find my way is to keep moving, trusting that the path will reveal itself in time. From time to time, I think that anyone who truly wants to test themselves should venture slowly across La Mancha to know if they are strong enough to challenge this harsh, lifeless land. In La Mancha, time seems to slow down, allowing me to appreciate the simple pleasures of life. As I stand amidst the vastness of the fields, surrounded by nothing but earth and sky, a sense of peace washes over me. As I hike this trail, I am reminded of the iconic adventures of Don Quixote and his loyal squire, Sancho Panza. The vast, open fields evoke the imagery of Quixote dreaming of chivalric glory. Each step taken on this path feels like a tribute to the timeless characters who once roamed these very lands in Cervantes' imagination. After a long day of walking, I enjoy a well-deserved rest in a Spartan room at the Deportivo. As I venture through the day, I stumble upon a noisy, welcoming committee of geese, greeted by their raucous ovation. They seem eager to engage me in conversation. As the day wears on, I encounter a herd of Manchega sheep, lazily grazing in the pastures. I find myself, face to snout, with their bodyguard sheepdogs. With discerning barks, the dogs approach me cautiously, as if to say, "Hey, who walks here? Friend? Or intruder?" The dogs bark nonchalantly. "Okay. Don't worry. Just move along, stranger. Keep to your way. And we'll keep to ours. Catch you later." At noontime, I enter the remote village of Casas de los Pinos and rest in the small deserted plaza, finding unexpected comfort in a chair at an empty table. After a brief respite, I continue my journey. In the distance, I spot a familiar silhouette against the horizon, Don Quixote, the legendary knight-errant, mounted on his trusty steed, Rocinante, a figure both inspiring and surreal against the backdrop of the vast, open landscape. I press on, my footsteps echoing against the empty fields, as I hike deeper into the heart of La Mancha. As I walk beside the trail vineyard, I am surrounded by dark purple-blue grapes, cultivated for winemaking. These grapes have always intrigued me, yet I never dare to taste them. Today, however, curiosity wins over caution. The experience proves unexpectedly delightful, offering me a quiet lesson in the rewards of curiosity. I stop, pluck a bunch, and savor their flavor. As I bite into the grapes, I am surprised by their rich, sweet taste. Entering the gate to San Clemente during siesta time, I find the locals are resting, leaving the streets empty and deserted. I walk quietly through the streets, thirst drying out my throat under the relentless sun, searching for an albergue to rest. My expectations are modest. But as I step into the albergue, I am greeted with a testament to the kindness and generosity of the town San Clemente and its people. My flashlight cuts through the pitch-black darkness, searching for signs that I'm on the right track. When I stop, the silence is so profound that even the wind seems to have taken the day off. Among the modern vineyards and cultivated fields, remnants of the past endure. The ruins of an old barn or farmhouse, though crumbling and weathered, stand as evidence of the agricultural heritage that once thrived here. Built from locally sourced stone, its walls bear the scars of time, yet retain an inherent strength and resilience. Once a crucial component of the rural economy, yet the structure, now reduced to partial ruins, served as a storage facility for crops, a shelter for livestock, and a hub for various farming activities. Well, look at you. Aren't you in a kitchen, sautéing in a pan, not sunbathing on the trail? I set down my hiking backpack and take a moment to appreciate the serene immensity of the landscape. Oh, yes, this is the perfect spot to take a break. I come across a large traditional clay jar, known as a tinaja. These jars have historically been used for storing wine or olive oil, essential to the agricultural heritage of the area. As I venture along the trail in the past few days, I find myself unwittingly transformed into a mobile contraption for a horde of flies. It is as if word spreads in the insect world that I'm offering a free tour of the countryside. Flies buzz around me, each competing for the best spot. My hands, head, face, ears, and even my nose are in high demand. Who needs a horse when we've got a human fly mobile? As I hike through the expansive plains of La Mancha, the sight of castle ruins emerges. A majestic, yet crumbling silhouette stands against the azure sky. This fortress, with its weathered stone walls and towers, serves as a sentinel of history. Approaching the ruins, I am struck by the castle's robust architecture. This is the Castillo de Santiago de la Torre, dating back to the Middle Ages, a period marked by the Reconquista. The castle was part of a network of fortifications established by the Order of Santiago, a military and religious order tasked with protecting Christian territories from Moorish incursions. Its strategic location provided a vantage point over the surrounding landscape, enabling its inhabitants to monitor and defend against potential threats. With its majestic ruins behind me, the Castillo de Santiago de la Torre stands as a monumental tribute to the rich history of La Mancha. You guys look like you had a wild night. If you think hiking is tough, try holding your head up high all summer long. The La Mancha Plain, with its flat and wide-open immensity, offers an unparalleled setting to admire the sunrise. So far, I've witnessed 19 sunrises amidst the sheer vastness of this landscape. Yet, I haven't encountered a single hiker on the trail. As I journey further alone toward Mota de Cuervo, through the sun-drenched expanses of La Mancha, the land's immensity is devoid of shade from trees. The predominant sight is the vast expanse of plowed fields, gleaming maroon. The scent of freshly turned soil fills the air, mingling with the dry heat of the sun, to create an intoxicating aroma. Sporadic glimpses of green offer a welcome relief from the starkness. Despite the barrenness, small patches of resilient vegetation thrive along the edges of the trail, peeking through the dry, cracked soil. Endless fields stretch out as far as the eye can see, interrupted only by the occasional traditional windmill or small village. Rare sightings of shrubs with crimson berries, or vineyards, punctuate the scene, sparking moments of wonder and intrigue. A winding trail stretching into the distance, bordered by the orderly rows of olive trees, evokes a sense of tranquility. In the distance, the silhouette of Don Quixote's legendary windmills emerges, standing stoically atop a rugged hillside. Each blade seems to whisper tales of chivalric exploits and quixotic adventures, adding a touch of mythic allure to this already captivating landscape. The rhythmic hum of a tractor plowing a field accompanies my steps, its steady progress leaving rows in the earth. The trail to El Toboso stretches endlessly into the horizon, bordered by freshly plowed fields on both sides. I stumbled upon an idyllic spot, perfect for a much-needed rest. My legs were weary from the hiking. I sit here, enjoying a well-deserved rest, beneath the canopy of a small tree. The sun's relentless rays are softened by the cool, dappled shade. While resting beneath this tree, I observe the intricate patterns of light and shadow playing in the branches above. The gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze and the distant call of a bird. It is time to go, but not with a sense of urgency or obligation. As I prepare to leave this shaded sanctuary and continue my journey, I carry with me a renewed sense of freedom and possibility. Each twist and turn of the path presents new sights and sounds, inviting me to embrace the thrill of the unknown. There is a unique pleasure in following winding trails, allowing them to guide me without any predetermined destination. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, finding moments of peace and solitude is a rare and precious experience. It is here that I can truly appreciate the freedom of moving at my own pace, unbound by the constraints of schedules and plans. Without the chaos of emails, phones, social media, and urban clamor, I am free to fully immerse myself in the present moment, noticing the subtle details that might otherwise be overlooked. With each step, I shed the burdens of modern life, immersing myself in the raw beauty of nature. I enter El Toboso the town of Dulcinea, the beauty of Don Quixote. This place is more than just a town. It is dedicated to Don Quixote's relentless pursuit of noble ideals and his love for Dulcinea. El Toboso is famously known as the fictional birthplace of Dulcinea del Toboso, the beloved lady of Don Quixote, in Miguel de Cervantes' novel, Don Quixote. Don Quixote, a knight-errant, becomes enamored with Dulcinea, whom he imagines as the personification of beauty, grace, and purity. Walking through the streets of El Toboso feels like stepping back in time, where the lines between delusion and reality blur, and the echoes of Don Quixote's footsteps seem to resonate in the air. In this place, I cannot help but feel the romantic fervor that drove Don Quixote's quests. Since leaving Valencia, this is the first time I found myself unprepared for a sudden drop in temperature. The air is chilly, and a light rain begins to fall, accompanied by a gentle breeze. My umbrella helps to ease my discomfort, making the hike somewhat more bearable. As I walk, I am struck by the distinctive, rich scent of the earth, which becomes even more pronounced in the rain. I worry that the steady drizzle will soon turn the path into a muddy quagmire, complicating my journey further. Fortunately, the rain starts to taper off as I approach the outskirts of the town. By the time I arrive, it has stopped altogether, leaving the streets glistening and the air refreshingly crisp. After the rain, the sun emerges, illuminating the sky. The air is crisp and fresh, permeated with the scent of damp earth. A weed at the trail's edge sways in the gentle breeze, like a welcoming hand. This small gesture from nature brings a smile to my face, a reminder of the simple joys found in the great outdoors. The dirt trail, once a muddy challenge, has dried considerably. I no longer worry about mud clinging to my shoes and slowing my progress. After covering 30 kilometers, the sight of Villa de Fadrique on the horizon fills me with relief and a sense of achievement. My day's journey, with its trials and triumphs, culminates in this moment of arrival. The landscape around me is sparse, with only sporadic weeds stubborn in their survival, dotting the terrain. My attention is drawn to a solitary tree, a lone sentinel, standing proudly on a low hill. Its presence is almost surreal. Each step along the trail is punctuated by the crunch of gravel beneath my feet, a reminder of my solitary journey through this boundless land. Further along the trail, I come across a curious cluster of small, white wildflowers. Their delicate petals stand in stark contrast to the ruggedness of their surroundings. Villa Cañas thrives as an agricultural hub, with a pronounced focus on cereal crops, vineyards, and olive groves. Renowned for its wine production, the town plays a pivotal role in the admired La Mancha wine region. Hiking for weeks, in the heart of the countryside, away from the noise and haste of urban life, I have discovered La Mancha, where time seems to slow down. Accompanied by the soothing sounds of nature, the rustling winds, the gentle chirping of birds, and the distant hum of insects, I find peace and freedom. After many hours of hiking, this spot seems to me perfect for a well-deserved break. In the midst of our busy lives, sitting here, surrounded by nature with an overwhelming sense of calm, feels almost unnatural. Dropping my backpack, I sit down and relax. Here, the frantic pace of the outside world fades into insignificance. Is this really happening? I realize this is not just a break from my everyday routine in life. It is a necessary retreat to reconnect with myself. It is a reminder that yes, this is really happening. Looking ahead, I see dark clouds hanging in the sky, perhaps signaling rain. Hi, onions. I met your sister 5 days ago. How is she doing? If we can't be in your salad, we'll be in your tears. I have been hiking for hours, when just before reaching the town of Tembleque, the horizon changes unexpectedly. Two iconic windmills, forever immortalized, in Miguel de Cervantes' classic novel, Don Quixote, stand atop a gentle hill. Continuing my hike, leaving the windmills behind, I look back again. I carry with me a reminder that the line between delusion and reality is as thin as the blades of a Don Quixote windmill against the sky. The contrast between Don Quixote's delusion and Sancho Panza's pragmatism, effectively captures the relevance of Cervantes' masterpiece to modern times. Hey, dogs. I'm not planning to crash your party. Keep your barks and your bones. Catch you later, tail waggers. The town of Tembleque awaits, and with it, the next chapter of my extraordinary adventure. Walking into the main plaza of Tembleque, I am immediately struck by the two-story arcaded buildings, with wooden balconies adorned with decorative wooden beams, which set it apart from other plazas I have encountered. At the center of the plaza, a star-shaped design in the paving serves as a focal point. The main plaza has historically been used as a Plaza de Toros, bullfighting ring. This multifunctional use is quite common in many traditional Spanish towns, where the central plaza serves as a venue for bullfighting events. Later that evening, I returned to the Plaza Mayor for a final walk to see the lighting. The warm glow of the lights highlights the architectural details of the balconies. It is the perfect place for an evening stroll. The morning begins with a gentle drizzle that paints the world in soft shades of gray. The rain is not heavy enough to dampen my spirits or my gear. My trusty umbrella holds up remarkably well, shielding me from the elements. The cool droplets mingle with the earthy scent of the wet ground, creating an atmosphere that is both refreshing and soothing. Before long, I encounter a farmer on his tractor, diligently tending to his fields. He greets me with a warm smile and wave gestures that speak of the simple, genuine hospitality characteristic of rural life. As I journey further, the landscape, initially dominated by the muted tones of orange and brown, gradually transforms into pockets of lush greenery and scattered trees. This vibrant contrast is a welcome change from the desolation of the previous days, adding a refreshing vigor to my hike. As I approach the town of Mora, the landscape shifts once more. The green vegetation, with its vibrant hues, dots the terrain, standing out against the backdrop of the more barren areas. Ah, the glamorous life of a wanderer. I stumble upon a quaint little abode that would make any minimalist green with envy. The house, equipped with nothing but 4 walls and a roof, a door for dramatic entrances and exits, a window for wistful gazing. Mora, welcomes me, with its picturesque streets, and warm, inviting atmosphere. The town, with its blend of traditional architecture, and serene charm, is the perfect culmination of my today's hike. Navigating through the chilly town of Mora, I find the temperature stubbornly hovering at 17 degrees Celsius. The morning sun, though a welcome sight, offers little warmth, and I shiver as I continue my journey. Unprepared for the cold, I am inadequately dressed, my layers insufficient to protect against the biting wind. As I trek forward, an unexpected sight suddenly strikes me. Perched majestically on a nearby hill is the Castillo de Immenseness. This castle, dating back to the 8th century, was originally constructed during the period of Islamic rule in Spain. It has changed hands multiple times between Muslim and Christian rulers during the Reconquista. To my amazement, a sign proclaims that this castle is for sale, complete with a telephone number for inquiries. The transformation of the landscape around me is nothing short of miraculous. The endless stretches of arid land give way to vibrant greenery, a lush oasis emerging seemingly out of nowhere. I walk alongside towering bamboo stalks, their dense foliage creating a natural corridor that guides me forward. The path then leads me through a sprawling olive grove. Their vibrant green hues contrast with the desolate backdrop. The trees stand as silent witnesses to the passage of time. This sudden burst of life is a feast for the senses, a welcome respite from the monotony of my previous weeks. The day remains cloudy and cold, a persistent reminder of the inclement weather. As I pass through the small village of Nambroca, locals warn me of an impending storm. They speak of tomorrow bringing even colder temperatures, accompanied by a thunderstorm with lightning and powerful winds. Their advice is clear: it would be wise not to walk tomorrow. The gravity of their warnings is hard to ignore. And I find myself pondering my next move. The thought of battling a severe storm on foot is daunting, to say the least. Today, I face an unexpected challenge upon my entry to Toledo: a sudden and intense storm. Rain pours down relentlessly, accompanied by strong winds and cold temperatures. This places me in a precarious situation. My gear is tested to its limits, and my poncho fails to protect me, leaving me soaked and shivering. Occasionally, thunder rumbles above, adding to the chill and heightening my sense of vulnerability. Despite this setback, I push forward, determined to weather the storm and emerge stronger on the other side. I stop briefly at the Mirador del Valle Vista, but the storm obscures the view. As I stand at the Plaza de Zocodover, soaked and weary but unbowed, I reflect on the challenges faced and overcome. I resolve to return tomorrow to the Mirador del Valle, hoping to witness the view in its full glory. I feel a sense of triumph as I conquer Toledo, imagining myself as an ancient warrior in the Spanish Reconquista army of the 11th century. Unlike modern-day tourists who enter the city by car, I traverse Spain on foot. Experiencing Don Quixote's La Mancha land this way provides a depth and connection that only such a journey can offer. On a crisp and windy morning, I walk back to revisit and fully appreciate the Mirador del Valle. It offers one of the most spectacular panoramic views of Toledo. This is the same scene that El Greco memorialized in his famous painting, View of Toledo. Although the exact vantage point of El Greco's painting is not definitively known, it captures the essence and spirit of Toledo. At noon, I find myself standing in the Plaza de Zocodover, eagerly observing the changing of the guard ceremony. The sounds of drums and flutes, along with the rhythmic march of soldiers approaching the Alcazar of Toledo, permeate the plaza. I feel a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to witness this remarkable event. The guards, dressed in immaculate historical uniforms, move with precision and purpose, their every step echoing against the ancient stone pavement. These uniforms, faithful replicas from the 16th and 17th centuries, add a layer of authenticity to the proceedings, making it feel as though I am transported back in time. As I walk away from the Alcazar, the sounds of the ceremony still echoing in my mind, I know this experience will stay with me for a long time. Feeling the call of La Mancha's immenseness, echoing Don Quixote's introspective journey, I set out to traverse the Camino de Levante, a 590-kilometer trail stretching from Valencia to the historic city of Toledo. From the outset, I knew this trek would be unlike any other. Over the course of 26 days, each step brought me closer to understanding the vastness of La Mancha, a land both stark and beautiful, where Don Quixote's windmills stood as silent sentinels against the sky.